आपकी बात हुई है रश्मि से एक दो दिन में?
I've gone live, okay? Give me a minute.
ओके ओके ओके।
So, namaste everybody. We are back again with Dr. Archana. Today we're going to be talking about the chapter 12 in Bhagavad Gita. I acknowledge Dr. Archana for being there, and we've actually crossed the journey of, I don't know, about 16 or 17 sessions that we've done actually. And like we said before, there was no commitment that we made to each other. We just allowed ourselves to flow, and that's why you haven't been getting that, at the specific time and a specific day. So life happens and we happen. And that's what Bhagavad Gita says, flow with everything. So over to Dr. Archana. Namaste again.
Namaskar everyone. It is so nice to be back again with all of you. Last time when we were doing the Virat Swaroop of Sri Krishna, it even gave us insight on exactly how and what we talked about what Sri Radhe felt about Krishna, and we talked about a brief presentation of Krishna and what probably Duryodhan thought about him, what Shakuni thought about him, what Karn thought about him, and what other people perceived Krishna as. Similarly, in today's life, I was talking about Gita to somebody I know, and very beautifully that person asked me, can you relate Gita to our day to day life? And I just wanted to share this with everybody that, are you saying, Anu? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, no problem. See, the way, we visit a doctor when we are unwell, when we have a problem, when we are in disease or disturbed, or there's some kind of ill health, we always knock on a doctor's door, right? And if for some kind of, God forbid, if you ever have it, legal tanglement, any kind of legal issues, you visit a lawyer, you visit a person who advises you, takes you to the court, manages through that, right? Similarly, when there is a desire in you to attain some kind of spirituality, spiritual knowledge, or even urge to feel spiritually liberated. Mind you, everyone, I am not talking about religion. I am talking about spirituality here. Okay, that is when we refer to a guru, a knowledgeable one, or a learned one. Now, about Gita, we ourselves, it is such a beautiful, such a, pristine book that has been given to us for more than 5,000 years. Only problem is that we are using it in the court of law to say that, we take the pledge over a Gita, right? But what Sri Krishna is teaching us in every chapter is that you need to follow it in your life. Whatever we are learning, whatever we are talking here, it is something like I remember discussing with you the forms of Sri Vishnu avatars, okay, and correlating it with our lives, our birth, our presence as sperm and ova, and then the episode of our birth, and then aging, and then finally leading back to the five elements of the earth. Okay. Now, there is another very beautiful correlation that is coming to my mind when we were talking about Gita, its ways of, learning of conduct and our complete surrender to the big I, the capital I, the superior energy. It is very important for us to understand that the different course in our life. Let's start, for example, we see a baby, an infant. That time, that stage, Anu, everybody is looking after the child, the infant, that particular stage when the baby is an infant. Okay. He has nothing else to do, just eat, sleep, while, cry, demand for whatever he wants, khana, pina, food, or if he's dirty, needs to be cleaned. And there are people all hovering around him for that beautiful smile that he gives you, and it makes your day. That is one stage which I love to correlate and I understand. It is the stage of Gita where we are learning to, where a person is just engulfed in pleasures, eating, sleeping, evacuating, dressing up, toddling up. You imagine just those toddlers. Everybody wants those kids to be dressed up. The mom, she gets the baby dressed up in the most toddle way, would doll him up or her up. And then everybody looks at you and you are an apple of an eye. It's a pleasure to look at those toddlers and those beautiful smiles they come up with. And then the stage of toddler, and then it is the school time, and then it is the adulthood.
Yeah, you're center of the whole world, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely.
And the
That,
innocence like that
yeah.
of the flower, or you can actually feel that there is innocence that attracts people, and they're not feeling there's so much work for them to do, and yet people do it with pleasure because they have this innocence that is radiating through them.
And Anu, that one smile, I remember when I had my elder daughter, and I don't know, she was one blessed child. First thing in the morning when she would get up, she wouldn't cry, Anu. She would smile. And I remember somebody had come to our house for a morning breakfast, and this kid got up. So that gentleman was sitting right next to her. And she looked at him and she gave her dazzling smile. And that person actually came up and told me, Bhavi, I have never seen a child smile like this in my life in the morning. I said, I agree to that. And that one smile, till date, my daughter is 20 now, and he says it is that smile that I can relate to, and it brings so much of joy to my life. Till date, I mean, it's been more than 20 years now. So that innocence, that time, that is one stage of our life. The second stage, and do you know, Anu, even at that stage, the child is really, really struggling with lot of things. Just imagine those infants, they are trying to turn, they try and they move to their back and they're trying to take sides and turn. If you put them like this on their tummy, they try and go back on their back, and when they are on the back, they want to shift back in the front. And then suddenly you realize that you place the baby in one corner and they are found on the other corner of the bed, and then they're trying to crawl and then come down to their knees and elbows and all those things. There's so many, we feel that their life is all pleasure, but have their own struggles, but they do it so beautifully. So they show it as if it is done so effortlessly, that we never realize that for a baby it is work. It is a job to pull himself on the elbow, to get himself to be on that knee elbow position, everything. Observe a child, all that is work for the baby, right? The next stage is when the child becomes a toddler. That is another stage where he succeeds after all that effort that he's put in. He's learned, he's crawling, he's walking, he's probably learned to just take a few, baby steps. And that's his success story there. And as soon as that time gets over, these days we are little more cruel with kids. Initially, the kids had the pleasure of, whiling away time till they were 5 years or 6 years. But now at the age of two and a half, three, we put them in playways and God knows where all. And, we think we're going to make smart asses out of them. God knows what we do of them. But yes, we do that. And that's the time when suddenly there is so much of a burden of duty that comes onto their shoulders. That school time, that learning time, that schoolers time that the kids have, and all that. Somebody was mentioning that we here in India, we don't just teach one language. Just imagine learning only alphabets. It's not just one alphabet, A B C D. No, we teach them Hindi and English another. That's one of the important languages that we learn. And then if you are in one of the sub cities or something, you have your regional language or your parental language. And there are times that you have some other maternal tongue that is spoken in your house, and you are pounded with more than two or three languages to learn. At such small, tender ages, there's so much that these children actually go through. So the duty things comes on to them. And after the episode of duty and scholarism, this is the school time that the children face. And then we come down to the discovery of self. That is what Krishna has been telling us. And here I correlate this to the adulthood, where a person has done his schooling, has done his basic learning, and has, converted himself to adulthood. And that is where probably at some time after even achieving everything worldly wise, where he has become a successful person. Anu, in our terms of being a successful person, mostly when we talk about XYZ is successful, means that he's earning his bread and butter, he's getting money enough in the house and things like that. That is the parameter for success. And still, after attaining all the materialistic aspects of life, if a person does not feel happy, there is a scope of him or him, her, to go on to the track of spirituality. And there, my friends, is what Bhagavad Gita is telling us, that that is exactly the kind of self discovery in that stage. I feel that Gita should be taught as a way of life, as a teaching of life, as the way of upliftment of our intellect, basically. Not only, wherever Gita is taught, Anu, mostly when you see Bhagavats having, we have Bhagavats everywhere, if you know. Like in India, there are, saints and knowledgeable people. They do Bhagavats. There's a 7 day Bhagavat happening. And mostly I have noticed old people visiting those places. Youngsters would never go there because probably, Gita was never given to you as a topic of learning to get over your today's anxiety and your stress and your daily issues. In today's life, when we follow Gita, like in this chapter, this particular chapter, there are two three very beautiful things given about upasana. It is like nirgun upasana, where Lord Krishna is telling us about the kind of worships that we can do, or the kind of people they worship, the kind where I can talk to you, where we worship either idols, forms, deities in physical forms. They're idols that you worship, and we relate attributes to those idols. Like we would make a idol and we just concentrate on that. Whereas Sri Krishna is saying that there is another very beautiful form of worshipping, That is the non idle form, the formless form, where it is said that the imperishable Brahm is the energy, the super soul. When you are worshipping that, that means that you are understanding the existence of that energy, that super soul, that power, that self discovery within yourself and its existence in everything. That is why all through Gita, this very beautiful word that keeps coming in again and again, it is called all pervading and self pervading.
So,
You know,
Archana, I'm really
yeah,
going to. So, you said brought up a very good point, and I don't think it's just Bhagavad Gita. I think, with all due regard to all the granthas, whether it is a Hindu grantha, whether it is, Quran, or whether it is Bible, these are just kept in the religious places,
yeah.
or rather, these religious writings. Um, so the question comes is, why are we not introducing this when it has got so much of value? And there are so many things that could be introduced to the kids. But like you said beautifully, that kids are finding it, you know, when they're very tiny, they're trying to walk. That's work for them.
Yes.
Is it possible that you are talking about Bhagavad Gita when you are some age and then you've realized the value of it?
Hmm.
I do feel that the education system is not providing what it should, but we as parents at home have also not introduced anything like that to our children.
Anu, that is exactly what Bhagavad Gita is saying. That
Yeah.
you do the karma, you do the action. Now, here, action, when Lord Krishna is talking about action per se to worship, like remember when we talked about going to Siddhi Vinayak? Okay. Now, just remember that you go to the religious places, right? But have you ever sat down and looked at the idol of Lord Ganesha, his beautiful tusk, his long trunk, his wide ears, his beautiful pot belly, and the small rat that carries him all over? And every part of his body, including his rat chariot, they all have a significance. We worship him, but we do not learn from them.
We're not
That is,
worshiping. I'm sorry. We are going there to ask things.
yeah, that's what, but that's what we say, Anu. The thing that we say is we worship God, Lord Ganesha. That we taught that yes, we go there, stand in the queue only to ask or do the barter system. That okay,
Or to get the peda.
or to get the peda.
Tell someone, I am such a big devotee. I
Oh
went
yes,
to
show
have a.
off.
You see, the point that I'm trying to make here, Archana, is that we only go and pray when we are in sadness to
Hmm.
ask, God to take us out of a story. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys, I'm not feeling very well today, so you'll have to excuse me. But the point that I'm trying to understand here is when you said, hey, we should introduce this. We've introduced Ganesha, we've introduced Krishna, we've introduced these ideals.
Yeah.
And even when I had my grandmother who was reading Bhagavad Gita,
Hmm.
oh, my has got Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
And there is an umpteen number of programs that have come on the TV trying to promote the same. What
Hmm.
I'm to understand is, why is it that we haven't been able to flow with this? And why is it we are just putting a hand on top of the Bhagavad Gita and saying, मैं सच बोलूंगा, आज तक तो कभी बोला नहीं. मैं सच
कभी नहीं.
बोलूंगा, सच बोलूंगा.
Anu, because we haven't ourselves learned the basic lessons of ignorance, desire, and action.
Absolutely.
When, as parents, we are not clear about them, how are we going to teach our children about
Thank you so much. And that's why to learn Bhagavad Gita, you have to have a heart which has learned how to be out of all these vices so that you can be true and authentic to what you're doing.
today? This chapter, there are these particular sentences which I wrote down, which I really wanted to read to my audience. All of them to understand that Sri Krishna is actually asking us to learn worship and follow the Brahma, the manifest form of Brahma and unmanifest form, which is there existing in each and every one of them. He is saying that under any and every situation, a person who can concentrate his mind, his intellect, and surrender them completely to the knowledge of learning of existence of that energy in everything that is animate and inanimate. That is the crux of Gita, where he's actually saying that if you cannot surrender your intellect, see, it's very difficult, Anu, even when we have teachers and they say that, okay, whatever, it's something like, I'll give you an example. There was this music teacher. He had, different rates of teaching children. For a child who did not know anything about the sargam, that is the saregama, the lyrics, the basic of singing, he would charge that child only 5 rupees for a month. And for a person who knew music, who had learnt music from somewhere and come to him to learn further, he would charge him 500 rupees. And when somebody asked him, why would you do that? I mean, that kid, he doesn't know anything, and you just charge him 5 rupees. That's nothing. He said, yes, that's nothing, because he is absolutely a clean slate. He has complete devotion in me. He has complete surrender in me. So when he comes to me, I can write anything on his page and he'll learn it. He will absorb it. Whereas a person who has learned from many schools and then come to me to learn, he is going to use his brain, his intellect, his mind, his probably even ego at times. That is what Shri Krishna is trying to tell us. So I charge them 500 because I need to erase all that and then rewrite his page. Anu, similarly, when we are living in this world, that is something that I learned from somebody's talking. The basic difference between a Gita and probably, I don't know about other religious books, but that is exactly what Gita is saying, that you do not have to leave where you are staying. You don't have to leave your karma. You don't have to leave anything. You don't have to leave your action. You don't have to leave. You just have to remove the desire behind the actions or the karma, and you can practice Gita verbatim wherever you are staying, whatever work you are doing, whatever profession you belong to. It does not matter, because it is not about, uh, what religion you belong to. It is about what learnings in life you want to follow. So the way that teacher said that I'm going to charge 500 rupees from that guy, because he already has some kind of knowledge, because they are not having complete knowledge and they are going to be using their brain, ego, intellect, questioning me. And but a person, a child who is a clean slate, it is so easy to teach them. All
Yeah,
right.
Often we find this also, Archana, that
Yeah,
to unlearn takes longer than to learn clearly.
exactly.
And that's why when we have people also in the workshop, in the meta health workshop, you have a
Hmm.
13-year-old, a 8-year-old, they
Yes,
learn, they understand the matter faster than adults do because we have been taught not to trust by the circumstances that we are going through. So we
exactly.
question, the child questions out of curiosity, but an adult questions out of not curiosity. The adult questions out of finding who's right and who's wrong. The judgments are already there.
Yeah, because adults have become so judgmental about everything.
Yes. We
Exactly. And
comes and says, मैं मित्रों इस घर को बहुत बड़ा बना दूंगा, and you say अच्छा ठीक है बन जाएगा, and then it doesn't happen.
hmm,
And then some priest comes and says मैं तुमको ये कर दूंगा. It doesn't happen. Somebody comes to your house, and that happened with me, and said मैं तुम मुझे 6 लाख रुपए दो, मैं तुम्हारा नाम हर पेपर में कर दूंगा. बोला सर जी मुझको माफ करो, मैं ऐसे ही ठीक हूँ. The point that I'm trying to make here is that we don't see, we are constantly looking at the trying to protect ourselves and not trust. And when we don't trust, there's nothing that you can do from
exactly. And here Sri Krishna is very beautifully saying that a person who is not unpleasant to anyone in any form, a person who is not agitated by anyone and any kind of action or karma of anyone, that kind of person, and a person who is probably equanimous to pleasure and pain, come what may. A person who is free from all kinds of fear and foes and anxiety of past and future both. Anu, because that is what is the biggest problem that we all are dealing today. We are either thinking about what happened yesterday, or we are just having anxiety about what is going to happen tomorrow. A person who has indifferent attitude to worldly gain, that kind of person, Anu, Shri Krishna is very clearly saying that a person who has all these attributes in his nature, he says, I love that kind of person. It basically means that we are not hurting the God living in our heart. Only when we are not so non-judgmental. It is something like a person who is not affected by loss, any kind of loss, monetary, emotional, or any other kind of loss, or he is not affected by, let's say, a praise or a defame, or a shame or a blame. It is very difficult to say that you will not be affected by all this. And the only way that you will learn to be not affected by all this is leaving it non judgment. Otherwise, it is not possible. If you are not leaving out the deeds of the good and the evil, if you are not renunciating them, if you are stuck to them, the good and the evil, then you can never be happy in life. They are very small things, Anu, but it is something like we are so easily affected by, like, our honor and dishonor, or something good or bad, or even hot and cold affects us so easily. It's you know it it's a very small thing, but these things affects us very easily.
And Archana, very beautifully you said that what is it? How is our attitude towards others? We should be kind towards others. I would really like to add here, despite being kind to others, it's very important that that kindness also reaches your heart. Because I
Yes.
often doing very good deeds to others. But
Hmm.
when it comes to themselves, they're very harsh with themselves. They're
Hmm.
not kind with any small mistake that they do. It's unpardonable. It's about honor then. I mean,
Yeah.
when it's about honor. We are the country where honor killing happens
Yes.
and is happening. I mean, we are giving more importance to things like honor, which is taught to us that ye hamari shaan hai, ye hai. But let's really get over here. Really, wiser is what Archana is trying to say. And wiser would mean that you give yourself that same place that you give others, or give others the same place that you give yourself, whichever way you want to look at it.
And I know we have to learn, like the way I was sharing the example of going to a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher. We have to understand that in today's time, it's very funny. I think 10 years before this, when we would visit a doctor, we would have a problem. We would go to a doctor and we would say, doctor, I have this problem, and can you just tell me what to do or how to get over it? And, things like that. We'll ask for a solution after giving complete surrender and ignorance about the topic. It's so funny. I practicing myself today when a patient comes to me. He has already learned so much about his disease from Google Baba that it doesn't matter. He would come, and there are times when I actually smile that the patient would come. I have this problem. I know these are the remedies for it. Can you prescribe me this? Actually, he's done everything. He just needs my stamp so that in India, there are times we can get medicine off the counter, but there are times they just need our stamp to get the medicine. That's it. Now, please understand, people, why I'm sharing this is that if we are not surrendering to anything that is above us. It is something like if we do not keep any teacher or a guru or a learned one above us, that pride, that ego, that will never let us achieve the aim of taking birth that we have come here for. The worldly earnings, the materialistic things, the Mercedes and the car and the bungalow and the pool and the horse and the pony and the sted farm and everything, they are just materialistic earnings. What about the real earnings that you have achieved a human body for? Please understand, it is only a human body and intellect and mind which is capable of getting you out of any kind of situation. It is only a human being, not any animal. An animal can, but it's only a human being who has his whole house got burned and can just come up and say, okay, fine. I still have clothes on my body and I can restart. And I have my intellect, I have my hands, I have my hard work, and I can remake myself. That kind of learning, that kind of beautiful strength, that kind of spiritual strength, that kind of inner strength, that kind of attitude of being equipoised in joy and sorrow both, that kind of strength where you can fight corona come what may, that kind of energy where you are contented with whatever comes your way and you are capable of fighting it, that kind of learning, that kind of energy, strength, inner strength, where you can actually say that I am not bound by identities. I am not bound by limitations of thought process, thought, greed, ego, anger, attachment. A person who understands that if anything that is attached to anybody or anything, it is the body, the soul is completely free of all of them. Your soul is never entangled in any of the vices. Your soul is completely free. It is only that your senses, they drag you through your lust, your desire, and your karma. You do actions and then you pay for them, whichever way you do your actions. Good, evil, bad, positive, friends, foes, anything. Your soul is above all that. That is why people, please understand, whatever you worship, nirgun or sagun, that means anything that you're worshipping, either in idol form or a formless form of worship. I can worship a stone, I can worship an idol in the temple or in a mosque, or I can just, I love going to the place wherever I get to see Mother Mary. I find that figure so beautifully placed, you can't imagine, because of the purity of that figure. It has nothing to do with a religion. Understand, everybody, that the soul is beyond all that. A soul is not a Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Jainic, anything, Buddhism, it's known. A soul is beyond all that. And that's exactly what Sri Krishna is telling us. I can't hear you, Anu, you're muted.
Archana, सोच के देखो, think about it. If we are like the drops of the water, small
Hmm.
droplets of water, and one droplet is Hindu, one droplet
Yeah.
is Muslim, and one is Catholic,
Christian or Catholic or whatever.
and the glass of water would have the mixture of all, and you
Yes.
would get it.
Yeah.
So we are not understanding that we are the part of a system, and a part of the system, and whether it's Gita, whether it's Quran, whether it is Krishna, whether it is any,
Anything. Anything.
the ideals were made so that you could recognize and be in that place. Like you have
That's
a
right.
house, recognize this is yours.
Yes.
If we could, I just thought about it, that
Hmm.
when we in the morning, if we could just sit down for 2 minutes and say, I let go of all my identity today. I'm not, I'm not, I
XYZ.
to say is that if we could take birth every day, which we
Hmm.
do,
Hmm.
because after
Actually,
the
we do.
we
Actually,
do.
we do.
And why do we then carry the past life or the past day identity into this day?
That is the whole problem, Manu.
If
That's
we
why
could
we are not happy today.
no, if we could only let go of that, only then can we flow properly
Exactly.
into today.
Yeah. Because we are not carrying tomorrow yesterday's backlog. The problem
Yes.
is we carry that burden, and it's. I'm just remembering something when I mentioned about burden. There are two people who visit a garden. One who's a gardener, and one who is a person who is a garbage picker. They both visit the garden and see what they both get out of it. The garbage picker has his eyes always just on the dirt, the garbage, the fallen leaves and the petals, and he's just cleaning the floor. Whereas the gardener is appreciating all the beautiful buds that have come out on the plant, all the beautiful flowers that have bloomed, all the fragrance that is there. Now we have to understand that every single day when we get up, when we are blessed with the life of garden, we have to understand what are we and how are we going to pass our day, like the garbage picker or like the gardener, where we can enjoy all the blooms of the day given to us, whichever they may be, or we can just have our eyes placed on the dirt and the muck of everything and everybody around us and just collect a basket full of muck and dirt and sleep with all that thought process at night. we need to be very, very careful of what we want to do. And yes, Anu, the way you said that we are born every day, every night when I sleep, I just thank God for the beautiful day I had. And yes, pray to Him that if He wakes me up again the next morning, we are going to be having the same beautiful, lovely talk about Gita again. And
Absolutely.
that's the way to live. If you're going to keep carrying the garbage of the prior day to the next one and to the next one, when are you going to learn to be happy? That's why I'm saying your soul is not carrying the garbage. It's your intellect, your mind, your thought process. I mean, just imagine if you do not think about yesterday, today is a brand new slate. Write what you want to write. And why not?
Imagine if when we are born again,
Yeah.
we have new parents, we have new set of environment.
Hmm.
But we try to live in the old environment every day, with the old identity every day, with the old way of doing things every day, with the
Every day.
same attitude every day.
Yeah.
If I was to put G in front of the old can be gold. Yet it
Yes.
can only be gold if we learn from it, if we learn from our age. And from our age, if I put I am in front, it becomes image. So, if only we could learn that our image is not made of gold and it has got nothing to do with age. Yet, if we can be authentic to ourselves, we are playing roles every day, we are playing identities every day, and identities are clashing every day. If only I could get up every day morning. Have I been able to do? I don't think so. Have you been able to do? No, the thought just came into my mind. How beautiful would it be if I could get up in the morning and create new things in a new way, with a new attitude, as if I got migrated into a new day. We only talk about migration when we move from a country to another country. We talk about shifting when we move from one house to another house. But you don't want to shift off your mindset. You live in your head. The changes, that thinking is happening in your head. If the thinking is happening in your head, the garbage picker or the gardener is in your head. And if it is in your head, then the place to clean up is first in your head.
Only.
And when we
Only.
that place, when we settle that place, everything in our space is about to change. If you're going to keep living with the old attitude, you're going to have the same old diseases, the same old stories, and you can't change your husband, you can't change your wife. That's okay. But can you change the way you relate to them every day?
And we just, I think we should just change how to relate to ourselves. And trust me, those beautiful people you just mentioned around us, they automatically perceive the change. I'll give a very small, short story. We'll finish after that. There was this particular saint who will visit a village, once, and he was asking for alms. So he went to this particular house and he knocked, and the lady said, I can offer you food. So he said, no, I am fasting, so I can just take either fruit or milk. So she said, okay, I'll get milk for you. And she got a glass of milk, and the man, he took the glass of milk in his hand, and he couldn't drink it. He was a very learned saint. So he said, lady, can you just tell me what did you add to the milk? She said, I added sugar to it. He said, okay, how many spoons? She said, no, 1 spoon sugar. I said, okay, fine. Can you think about, I get a feeling you added something more to it. And she said, yes. I said, Toba. Toba is like, oh my God, something like that. I said, Toba. He said, why did you add Toba to the milk? Why did you add, oh my God, to the milk? She said, Saint, when I was pouring the milk for you, the milk had a thick layer of cream on it. And I wanted my son to have that thick layer of cream with his parantha, his roti or parantha or bread, whatever you want to say. But what happened when I was pouring the milk for you, the cream flowed with the milk and went into your glass. So I just said, Toba. I just said, oh my God. So, talking about vibrations and energy, and the saint just said that, lady, I do not drink milk which has tauba in it or oh my god in it. So it is basically that when we correct ourselves, we change ourselves from inside, Anu. Trust you me, our vibrations are going to be felt by the people living around us, and our environments are going to be the most beautiful ones and the most happy ones. Anu, you're muted.
Absolutely. So from today, we're going to start removing the words like if, but, toba, oh my God, all these words with which you're not just living. That man did not drink a glass of milk which was added like this. And yet you live your entire life and you drink those thoughts which have nothing but doubts mixed in it. And can you
Exactly.
think of what you're doing? Today I just felt very called for, so I'm going to do something for you guys before we say a goodbye. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to read out cards for you guys here.
Oh, wow. Lovely.
I
New
just,
Year gift.
I don't know, but ठीक है.
Uh,
So
okay.
what am I going to do right now is I'm going to read for, just give me a minute. Okay. So Archana, I'm going to start with your cards
Okay. Sure.
for me and then for the general audience.
Okay.
I just felt that angels were calling out and saying, "Hey, you're talking about religion? You're talking about everybody being same. I'm sitting right next to you. Come on.
I'm
How can?"
sure they are. I am sure.
So that's the first card for you. It
Okay.
says, "Mint." It says life is
Okay.
going to be full of beautiful things. So you
Hmm.
become today the gardener.
Yes. Yes.
It's also telling you to indulge in a lot of
Oh,
like.
music.
And Archangel Michael is standing up for you. Beautiful. So
Blessed.
did cards for मेरे रह जाएंगे तो कैसे चलेगा? So I'm going to do cards for me too. And then
Sure.
for if anyone specifically wants it, do let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to general reading for everyone today.
Okay.
You know what happens with technology? You can never be up on it
No, no,
because
you can't.
how many people are trying to create that technology, and today even super fast because that's the only way you can totally connect with each other. Okay, so my first card is I need to dream, sleep, rest as
Wow. You need to rest.
yes, I've been telling you I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
Emerging today, all cards which are saying
Wow.
God is saying, don't worry, Anu, abundance is in your place. Just enjoy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Remove
was just
yes.
I was just thinking,
Yes.
Anu, it is such a pleasure talking about Gita. There have to be beautiful angels lining up to make sure that this happens. It's not easy.
No, it never is.
No, it is always a divine pleasure, a divine learning, a divine guidance. Only then something like this can happen. I mean, that's what I feel.
Okay,
It,
Archana, this is what I feel we should be doing. I'm going to remove each card. You're going to think of Gita and say whatever comes to your mind.
let's
Ready?
do it. Okay.
A chota game, guys. For
Always
all.
a change. Everybody.
Okay. Archana, tell me when you feel I should stop shuffling.
Stop. Stop.
Manifestation. Talk anything about manifestation from Gita.
Exactly. See, Sri Krishna is saying that you think and you can create. You are the creator. You are capable. Everybody today, the angel cards are hinting at it. Just think of what you want to manifest in your life. Be clean and pure in your heart and your thought process, and 99.9.9% you'll achieve it. That's what Gita says.
Wonderful. And this is for all of you.
Everyone, all the
Every
audience, all the people who are listening to us or are going to listen to us later, whenever you listen to it, just think, be clean, be clear, and you'll get it.
okay, tell me when to stop. We're going to do this
Stop.
another balance, the card of balance.
Wow. I think it is actually the call of the hour. And Gita is just telling us to be in a state of balance. It is the most practical book, where we are learning to be in the place where we are placed: house, boarding school, a cricket game, or a courtroom, or a surgical room, or wherever we are placed, wherever we are living. Just be clear that we are all helped, guided, and aided by beautiful energies around us and have complete surrender to them. Do your action, do your karma, have that balance of, ego and everything, and you will be happy with that surrender to the Supreme Power. Just
Wonderful.
learn to do that.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
My card, dreams.
Wow. Again, we have already had manifestations. You have dreams. Think of them. Be clear and pure, and you will achieve them. This year, as it is a beautiful year of 2021. It's a year of Mercury. It's the year of movement, people. And yes, your dreams are going to come true.
So, removing this card, study.
Study, board exams coming up. No, that's just a part of joke. People only think that every time you get a chance to probably read Gita in whatever language you are, whoever has translated in your language, your learnings, go through it, study it, don't read it, and see if you can learn something and take it to your life. It's a very practical book. It is not like the Upanishads. There's a book called Upanishads, which are for people who've done their basic course and they seek answers. Gita is a practical book teaching you how to live your life. So just try and read that.
Wonderful. Wow.
It's a very practical book.
Fell
I feel that if Gita, yeah, what fell out?
down by itself. It's called the divine timing.
Yes,
This,
it is the divine timing, absolutely.
so even though we've never planned out a session, we don't even 10 minutes before that we're going to be doing it. We've both flown and kind of just gone with it. And whatever happens here just happens. So the
Yes.
last two are from me, and
Okay.
it's saying abundance coming everybody's way. So,
Bless
hey,
everybody. Whatever you want in life, people, it's coming towards you.
absolutely. And the last card, wow, we need to accept ourselves. We need to love ourselves. We need to accept ourselves. We need to tell ourselves. And so we are all going to do this together today. Yeah. I, you do this,
I,
I, like this.
I, I.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
Beautiful. I am
I
beautiful.
am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
Beautiful. I am beautiful.
Beautiful.
You are beautiful. Yes, you are
Beautiful.
beautiful.
And
You are
we
beautiful.
are beautiful.
We all are beautiful.
And we all are beautiful. So once
We
more, guys,
all are beautiful.
I
I
am
am
beautiful.
beautiful. I
You
am
are
beautiful. You are beautiful.
all
We
are beautiful.
all are beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Archana. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Happy.
you, everyone. Bless you. And I'll try and get the next session as soon as possible. It's a beautiful lesson where we are learning about the field and the fielder. That is the Kshetra and the Kshetragya. People, you'll love it. Let's see how soon we can do that. See you, Anu.
Wonderful. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye.